Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ecole Polytechnique's webinar. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your interest. I am Pamela, and I am in charge of the promotion of the different Masters of Science and Technology programs. And joining me today is Marie-Laure Allain. So I will let her introduce herself.
Hi, so I'm Marie-Laure Allain. I'm a professor of economics at Ecole Polytechnique, and I'm also a researcher at CNRS. And I'm the program director of the MSc&T Economics, Data Analytics, and Corporate Finance.
Thank you. And so as you know, today we're going to present to you Ecole Polytechnique, as well as the MSc&T in Economics, Data Analytics, and Corporate Finance, and its admission process. Just for your information, before starting, we will take all of your questions at the end of the presentation. So do not hesitate to use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to ask anything related to the presentation. So what is Ecole Polytechnique? A few key facts about the school. For those who don't know, Ecole Polytechnique is the French leading institute in science and technology, based in Palaiseau, which is a city about 20 kilometers away from Paris. And it was created in 1794. We are one of the best world university for students' employability, and we're very proud of that. And we have about 3,600 students coming from all over the world. As you can see, we have 40% of international students, but we also have 40% of international professors. And we offer different undergraduate and graduate programs from the bachelor degree to the PhD. The student life at Ecole Polytechnique is very important. Usually, French universities do not offer a life on campus. French students are used to go to school to study and then go back home to live. So it's a very unique experience in France. And students can take part in almost 250 associations in cultural, artistic, social, scientific, and sporting activities. And the campus itself offers many services, such as banks, a hairdresser, a post office, therapist, but also many facilities such as a library, catering, research labs, or an innovation center, for instance. And lots of events are organized throughout the year, professional events, student events, and cultural events to allow students to make memories, enjoy their time on campus, but also network and be prepared for their future career.
Okay, so just a few words about what Master of Science and Technology are before I start presenting precisely the EDACF program. Okay, Masters of Science and Technology are master's program. It's just 2 years program that are industry oriented, so more applied than our research master program. They are fully in English, so all courses are taught in English, and we welcome foreign students, that is students from all nationalities, and we have also part of the professors is also international, right? So let me present more precisely the MSc&T Economics, Data Analytics, and Corporate Finance, because I'll go back on the general aspects of the programs too. Okay, so this program, bottom line, aimed at training decision makers by giving them a complete economics-based strategic understanding of markets in the 21st century economy. So the program is designed to give the students the highest level background in economics and finance, with a special focus on quantitative methods and data analytics. So it's built on the complementarity of 3 domains. That's microeconomic analysis, corporate finance, and data analytics. So let me a bit more information about these three domains. The training in microeconomic focuses on the tools of industrial organization and game theory that are key to understand the firm's strategic interactions in a changing environment. So we want to analyze the organization of markets and to have a structured approach to firm strategy. Corporate finance provides tools to analyze a firm's financial decisions. That is, it provides techniques of financial accounting, financial analysis, valuation techniques, asset management, hedging, and that kind of issues. And finally, data analytics provides students with econometric and statistic tools to analyze data, and we insist on making sense out of data, right? So we go from basic to advanced econometrics and big data techniques. So the overview of the program is that it's experience-based learning, but we have in the first year we have theory courses like the important theoretical grounds for all the knowledge you will need to master. And in the second year we have more applied courses where you do more projects, more data-driven projects, etc. Right? So in year one, you have fundamentals plus the methodology that you need to master. That's over the first two terms. That is, the first term will be September to December. The second term is January to March. And after that, you have one internship after the end of the first year. In the second year, you have the same two terms, and then an internship that is 20 weeks long. In the first year is 16 weeks, right? So on top of this, yes, thank you. So a bit more details on the overview of the program. So on each period, that is, you have 2 periods per year. Okay, you have 4 courses plus management courses, humanities, language, sport courses, right? So the scientific courses are usually 3 core courses plus 1 elective per period. In the first year, you will have in the first semester industrial organization, that's the microeconomics course, econometrics 1, that's the data course, and corporate finance 1. The second term, you have business economics, which is a mix of microeconomic and data techniques, econometrics 2, and advanced corporate finance. So these 3 courses that are mandatory per period are always microeconomics, data, and corporate finance. And then you can choose 1 elective per period that can be either in economics or in data or in corporate finance, right? So these are the electives in the first and in the second period. Okay, so in year 2, you have 2 core courses that are mandatory per period. And okay, let me tell you first that in the second year you specialize. You can specialize either in a finance track or in an economics track. Okay, so if you choose the finance track, you will have a mandatory course in data and a mandatory course in corporate finance, and you will have to choose an elective, at least one of the 2 electives in finance. If you choose the economics track, you have 1 mandatory economics course plus the data course, and then you have to choose at least 1 elective in economics. And the second elective can be either in economics or finance or whatever, right? So which gives us for the for the first period, if you choose the finance track, you will have econometrics course, Econometrics of Competition, and Valuation of Startups, which is a mandatory course. And you can choose financial markets or another another elective, which can be financial decisions under risk, blockchain, case studies in corporate finance, private equity. That's the first period. In the second period, you have a financial market course plus the big data course, which is a mandatory data course in the second period. And you can choose 2 electives in period 2, including that, well, at least 1 finance elective, right? So in the economics track, you have Firms and Market, which is an advanced industrial organization course in the first period, and the Econometrics of Competition course. And in period 2, you have a mandatory economics course, which is new technologies and the sharing economy. And then the data course is big data. And again, you have to choose 2 electives per period, and with at least 1 economics elective in each period. Okay. So what happens after graduation? So the career prospects. There's a wide range of careers that are open to the graduates, and we have now a few alumni, because the first group of students, the program has been launched in 2016, and since then most of our graduates have started careers in 3 main areas, I would say. Perhaps the largest group specializes in corporate finance and investment banking. For instance, merger and acquisition, advisory, venture capital, restructuring, or private equity. So we have alumni working currently for Lazard, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, BNP Paribas, among others, as well as smaller firms. And we have people at, for instance, Deutsche Börse, the marketplaces, and that kind of outlets, right? We have other students who started their career in strategy consulting. So some of them work for one of the big established companies, and others have chosen smaller companies who focus on the quantitative side of the analysis. So for instance, among others, in the recent years, some of our graduates joined Ernst & Young, McKinsey, Capgemini, BCG, so Boston Consulting Group, or Compass Lexicon, among others, right? And finally, we have students working for various companies in domains such as digital transformation, data science, strategy, etc. So these companies are very, there's a various range of companies. So we have, for instance, very small startups, but we also have larger international companies. For instance, AXA, the insurance, or Schlumberger, which is an industry group in chemistry. Okay. And finally, we have also some of our graduates who became economists or data scientists for the international institutions or public sector, or who chose research. So we have alumni working for the European Central Bank, for instance, for the French Central Bank as well, or some who completed a PhD as well. That's it for the big picture. Thank you. Thank you. Pamela, you can maybe proceed. Do you want me to? Yes. Who can apply for this program in general? Sorry. So we focus on students who have a good level in mathematics. All right. That's the main requirement. There on the website of the program, you will find a list of the minimum knowledge you need to to have to make sure you can apply to the program, right, in mathematics. So that's one important point. But in general, we welcome students with different backgrounds. We have students who come from a mathematics background, so either pure math or engineering background, but with a sufficient level in mathematics. And we also welcome students who have an economics background. So if you graduated in economics, you're welcome to apply. We have that's the main sources of students for this master. We also have some students who come from a financial background, so more management, but it's more difficult for that profile because you need to have a sufficient level in math and sometimes in data as well. So that's more subject to discussion, but you're welcome to contact us and see whether your profile fits with the program. Thank you.
So if you're interested in exchanging with previous students, you can either go on the website, so scan the QR code and read the different testimonies of our alumni. And you can also get in touch with them on LinkedIn and ask them any question you have about the program and about what it brought them. So how can you apply to the program? So if you're interested in this MSc&T, you will need to complete the online application form and include a list of documents. So the different documents are listed here on the screen. So share the transcripts of all your previous post-secondary education, including exchange programs, as well as your degrees. If you are currently finishing your bachelor program or your engineering program, we need an enrollment certificate. And we also need the contact details of 2 referees. One of them must be a professor at your current institution or a previous institution. And the other one can either be another professor or a manager, supervisor of your last internship or previous job. And you will find a section in the application form in which you can fill out the contact details of your referees, and they will receive an email to complete the references. And once it's done, you will be automatically notified. The personal statement. So we request a very specific format and advise you to respect it, because we will not accept a statement that you wrote on your own, not answering the questions that we asked in the personal statement. I can give you a few examples of the different questions that we might ask you. Explain your motivation and interest in the subject for which you are applying, or what are your career goals and plans, for instance. So please be as specific and honest as you can. The goal is not to write what you think will look good on paper, but to truly show us who you are and what motivates you to enter the program. We also need your resume, and we need it to be concise and written in English, 2 pages maximum, and you need to include your current situation, all of your work experiences, your academic background, your extracurricular activities, personal projects related to the field of the program. And as the program is in English, we also need an English language proficiency test taken less than 2 years ago. And if you do not have this document when applying, you will have to upload the proof of your enrollment for the test. And once your application form is complete, you will be able to pay the application fee of 90 euros. And if your file is complete within the deadlines, you are admissible according to the jury, you will be interviewed by a jury composed by program academic directors and the admissions team. So you will be interviewed for 20 to 30 minutes in English, and we advise you to prepare in advance and be ready for questions about your scientific culture, motivation to join the program, or anything you've done in an academic or professional context. So feel free to search more about the program, get in touch with the current students or alumni to find out more about their experience and maybe get other useful tips. So the different fees for this program are listed on this slide. If you're admitted to the program and choose to pursue your studies at Ecole Polytechnique, the direction of the program will select the best candidates for the scholarship proposed by the MSc&T programs. Of course, the number of awarded students is limited, and the amount may cover up to 50% of the tuition fees. There is an admission calendar and different rounds to apply. So the first round is already over, but you still have 2 other rounds to apply. And of course, the earlier you apply, the better it is. So you have 2 different QR codes that you can scan. The first one, how to apply, is a video of that explains to you how you can apply to an MSc&T program. And the second one is a redirection to the application form. Feel free to ask me in the questions if you want me to go back to the different QR codes so that you can scan it. And as I explained to you at the beginning of the presentation, I am in charge of the promotion of the different MSc&T programs. I'm not in charge of the admissions. Lily Toucteau is the one in charge of the admissions. So if you have any questions that me or Marie-Laure Allain are not able to answer, feel free to ask the questions that you have at GD admissions, and Lily will answer you very gladly.
Yes, just one information to complete. We really need you to send your transcripts when you apply, and we may ask you, we may interview you to also to ask you about what precisely the program of your courses was, to have more information about your precise background in one area of the program. And we may also ask you to provide transcripts of what you're doing this year later, to make sure that your background is relevant for the program when you start in September. But that's not necessarily a bad sign if we ask you some more information. That's it. And yes, Lily is currently in Vietnam, I think. So that's
Yes.
the reason why she's not she's not there today.
So we have different questions. The first one is, what distinguishes this program to a master in finance from top business schools like HEC, ESSEC, Bocconi?
So I would say it's the data part of the master. We really emphasize the use of data. You have core econometrics and statistics and big data courses that are absolutely necessary. And we also have another differentiation point, is that we have more economics. So it's more economics based. But I think the twist, the important, the particularity of this program is the data. We really emphasize the data techniques, especially if you compare to HEC and ESSEC programs, definitely.
Is the master suitable to work in public organizations such as BPI France?
So I don't know the precise case of BPI France, honestly, but public organizations, yes, definitely. We have former students who graduated and who know work in public organizations, and I think the mix of the three domains is very important for the public sector. So especially the data techniques mixed with economics and the ability to use data to analyze markets can be important for in the public sector. So I need to precise that the economics part of this master is not focused on macroeconomics. That is we are not going to talk about inflation, exchange rates or whatever. We focus on microeconomic, which is the way markets work. So you can, for instance, specialize in market analysis, work in regulatory agencies or things like that. It's going to be more relevant than you're not going to work on international exchange rates, for instance, right? But BPI France, yes, I think it's a good. It would be a good match.
I have an economic background with several subjects in math and statistics. I have already applied, but I wonder if I have to send the syllabus of these subjects at some emails. Thank you in advance.
Okay, so economics background with subject in math and stat is great. Don't worry, we will review your file, and if we need more information, we will send you an email to ask for more files. There's no need to send the syllabus right now, and I guess we can find them on internet as well.
Regarding the admission process, if the selection committee has accepted our application, does that mean we will be invited to an interview?
Not necessarily. So some students have a background that's okay. We know the background, so we don't need to have an interview. So we interview only part of the students. So you are not necessarily going to have an interview, even if we accept your applications. You will be notified that your application has been accepted, but if we want to interview you, you will have a special message.
We don't have other questions for now. Is there anything, maybe Marie-Laure, that you would like to share to the people that are actually hearing us?
I see a new question, maybe.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For reference, we need at least one teacher. Yes. In the application, it is said that we have to put one mathematical teacher. I'm surprised. It's a good idea, but it's not necessarily. So if you have, we would like you to have a reference from one professor in data, if you have already had data courses, or in math, or in economics. So obviously something related to the program, but not necessarily a math teacher, right? So, and you can also have a reference from people who supervised your internship, but we definitely need somebody who is a teacher, right? Okay. So I see, whoops.
Yes, there's other questions. If we are accepted without need of interview, we will know it at the end of November or mid-December anyway.
Yes, I think mid-December.
Is it possible to get the results maybe earlier than mid-December?
That's a question to ask to Lily.
Okay. Are you accepting Sciences Po students majoring in economics?
Yes, we already had some who are very good students.
Can we send our CV to the previous admission email you showed to get a profile evaluation?
You'd better send it to me, which is sometimes students do that before they apply, but well, I don't know. It depends what's your I won't be able to answer you a clear yes or a clear no. That's the job of the jury, right? But if you want to know whether your profile has a chance to be admitted, feel free to contact us through the email that is on the website, right?
So it's not GD admissions, or can they
Yeah, I
actually
think
send?
it's through GD admission. You can
Okay.
contact us through GD admissions.
If the selection committee has accepted our application, does that mean that we will not be interviewed, or not necessarily? And if we do have to have an interview, when will we be notified?
So when you receive the answer, there are three answers. There's a yes, there is no, and there is a interview. And there is also, sorry, there are four possible answers, and there is also the possibility that we say that we delay our decision until the second wave or the third wave, and we ask you for more files, not only an interview. Okay. So everything's possible. So if you have an interview, I think we have, I don't know it precisely, but the interviews are going to be beginning of December. Okay, and the decision will be shortly available shortly after the interviews. Welcome. So did we review all the questions now?
I think so. Once again, if you have other questions that comes to your mind after the presentation, feel free to send them to GD admissions. But I think we reviewed every question. Is there anything else that you would like to share, Marie-Laure, to?
No, I really urge you to look at the website. If you have more questions, you can contact us through the GD admissions file email, sorry, and that I think the website now has a lot of information, and it's true that students from Polytechnique who did not do prepare are regarded differently. Whoa, that's a complex question. No, we have, okay, so yes, one last point I wanted to share with you. All the courses you're going to have in this program are shared with students from Polytechnique who do the engineering courses, which means that you're in the same courses than the Polytechnique student who did the prépa, right? So it's absolutely the same courses. It's shared with what we call the Programme d'approfondissement économie. So you're going to have a mix of MSc&T students and engineering students in the same courses. So there is no difference in that respect. And obviously you have parallel programs, so it's not necessarily all the rules of the MSc&T apply to research masters or bachelor students or students from the engineering program at Ecole Polytechnique, but otherwise most of the infrastructures and student life infrastructure, etc., are completely shared with all students. Welcome.
Where can we see the courses in humanities of the master that you mentioned?
On the website, there must be a
Yes.
link to the courses. Okay, so you have the list of the courses on the website, and if you click, you can see more details on more details about the courses and the program. And I think there is a new question.
Yes. On the website, it is written that admissibility jury will decide by end of November. In case we will need an interview, it will be communicated then. And if we are not admitted or admitted without need of interview, we will know it also then.
Yes, I think the answer comes quite quickly. So you should know where you stand at least by mid-December, I would say. Maximum.
Are there few conferences during the academic year?
Okay, so we have, so that's a good question. We have one special course, which I should have mentioned. We have in the first year, what we call the lecture series is a special course where you have a list of people who are invited to come and make a presentation on a special topic. So these people are people from the industry, mostly from banking, insurance, or consulting companies, but also from firms in the industry, and they come to meet students and to deliver a conference. Students have to prepare a debate with a person who is invited. They have to prepare a presentation to introduce the topic, and generally the person who is invited gives them asks them to read a book or to read papers to prepare the interaction with the students. So this is what we call the lecture series. It's not exactly conference series, but it's really built to create interaction between the students and people from the from the industry, from companies, right? So we did that because we think it's a more interesting way to interact than to have a simple company visits, which are quite common in many programs, but which are generally organized by the HR service of the company. So you go in a company, you see the building, you have the HR people who explain you, here is the place where people do this, and here is the place where people do that, but you don't have an in-depth interaction with people who work in the company. So this is our this is a quite special program we have developed for the MSc&T EDACF. On top of that, you also have sometimes people from companies who come to present. For instance, we had recently people from consulting companies who come to present the way they organize the hiring process. So consulting companies or corporate finance companies as well, because they have very special processes. Okay, so that's the way it's organized. Okay, so that's the different things. So the lecture series are regular, and on top of that you have sometimes something that is organized with a given company. That's it, I think, unless you want more information about that. And yeah, last point maybe I wanted to emphasize, we have so the courses, the regular courses, I would say a large part of them is taught by professors, so people who are world-class professors at Ecole Polytechnique or sometimes at MSc&T, which is another institution in the same campus, but most from Polytechnique professors. A few courses are also taught by people who work in the professional world. That is, for instance, in the first year, if you can maybe go back on the slide, Pamela, towards slide number, so where is it? Slide number 9, I think, year 1. So no, slide number 8, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit higher. One more.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So here we have no.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
It's doing it.
Okay, we're going to have it soon. So in the first year, you have, if you take the first semester, you have industrial organization course. I'm teaching it. Econometrics 1, it's a professor from Polytechnique and from MSc&T. Corporate finance is one professor from Polytechnique and one professor from business school. That's the team. So it's mostly professors. Second term, you have the Econometrics 2 course, which is also taught by a professor. But you have the Business Economics course, which is taught by Philippe Février. So Philippe is one of our, used to be a professor and a researcher, and he created his consulting company a few years ago. That is now one of the big players in Paris for the analysis of competition in particular. So Philippe is doing the business economics course. So he has both research background and a non-academic and applied background, because he's been running this consulting company for years. So I mean, it's not a small company. I think there are like 50 persons active in the company right now. And the advanced corporate finance is also taught by a professor. In year 2, you have so next slide, if you find it, Pamela. Yes, the valuation of startups course, for instance, which is a mandatory finance course for the finance track, is taught by somebody who is one of the founding partners of Elia Partners, which is one of the big players in venture capital in France. So it's Xavier Lazarus, who is one of the founding partners of this VC company, right? Xavier Lazarus is also somebody who holds a PhD in math, so he has also an academic background. That so we were keen on having that kind of profile for the professors, people who have both the academic background and professional experience. Or maybe we can see for instance, the financial decision under risk 2 course is taught by Ban Zeng, who is head of data science at HSBC Global Asset Management. So again, a profile with a PhD in finance or math. I think he has a PhD in math, and he's now running finance activities in a big player, in a big company, among others. We have other professors like that who have a profile that are both academic and applied.
And we have one last question. I've seen some French conferences at Lakes online. Are they only for engineers, or can everyone access it?
Okay, so yes, you also have conferences at Polytechnique that not just only for the program, and they are usually open to all students. Last week, for instance, we had Alain Aspect, who's a professor of physics at Ecole Polytechnique, who just got the Nobel Prize, and he came to give a conference, and everybody was, all the students on the campus were welcome to attend. So yes, it's usually open to all students, of course.
So I think we have answered all of the questions. Thank you so much for your time and for your interest. Once again, feel free to reach Lily and Marie-Laure through GD Admissions. And we hope to see you soon on campus.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.